Great. You are all muted right now and your cameras are off, and that's fine. We will have time for questions later on, and I can unmute you if you don't know how. We also have, just for a quick review in case you're not super familiar with some of the Zoom functions, there is a chat function. You'll see this little word bubble icon, and you can ask questions in there as well. And Wendy from Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper is also on the call. If I can't answer those questions while I'm presenting, she might be able to quickly respond, and we can answer later on. Just want to give a couple more seconds here. Thank you for joining us. All right. All right, we'll get started, and I'll keep an eye if anybody is popping in late. So thanks for joining this volunteer training to learn more about Waterkeeper. Really excited to share this with our volunteers. My name is Liz Cute. I'm a community engagement manager at Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper. And myself and Wendy Patterson, we coordinate our citizen science program at Waterkeeper called Riverwatch. All right, went over some of the Zoom functions. All right, so today's training, we're going to cover what is Waterkeeper, explain how Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper uses this platform. We will go over some observations that would be helpful for volunteers to make. And I will go over instructions to use the app and get you ready to make observations on your own. So Waterkeeper is a platform that can be used on a desktop computer for data visualization, and can be used on smart devices like iPhones and tablets to make real-time observations in the field. Just have somebody else joining us here. All right. So Waterkeeper, how does Waterkeeper use Waterkeeper? In a lot of different ways. We utilize this platform to help with data visualization for our water chemistry data collected through the Riverwatch program. And each sampling sites, these gray dots you see on this map, can be clicked on, and then an info card will pop up providing information like the most recent water sampling reading, and you can also see trends over the years. Any of these water quality results are compared to New York State Department of Environmental Conservation standards. We've also used this platform to map combined sewer overflow locations in the Niagara River watershed. These are those orange circles. And if you click on these, you'll see who is the owner or the holder of the Speedies permit for that combined sewer overflow. So that would be a point of contact if we ever saw a problem at one of these combined sewer overflows. We've also started to use Waterkeeper to record locations of harmful algal blooms in our watershed. Many of these blooms are reported by volunteers, some by staff. Each icon, the little clipboard, can be clicked on, and it will have the date of the bloom observation, notes like maybe the type of algae, and a photo that you can open to view what was observed at that location. The last way Waterkeeper is using Water Reporter, which is what this training is focusing on, is community observations. So community members like yourselves can sign up for a free Water Reporter account and take photos throughout the watershed of waterway conditions. This data is then easily accessible to Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper staff and displays on this great map, which we house on our website, and I'll share that data, that information with you guys. This is a wonderful way to gather information from community members to inform our work, and a way to share important information. So, what do these observations look like? So here are two examples. I took some screenshots from local Water Reporter users. A photo is uploaded and a caption is created to explain what is in the photo. Hashtags can be used, hashtags like you'd use in other, Facebook or Twitter, social media. This allows for us on the back end to pull information on similar types of posts, but the hashtags are not required. It can just be, a sentence or two or a few words. So these photos can be shared with our staff to help us understand conditions of our waterways, better inform our work, and allows for different perspectives to be captured and shared, because everyone views waterways in their own way. These observations are also very helpful because a photo is worth 1,000 words. Community members live and visit all different areas throughout our watershed. Our staff cannot be everywhere and see everything. So we need help, and a great way to be eyes on the water is to be a water reporter. So next, I'm going to go over some specific observations that would be considered helpful to our staff. And these are just ideas. Don't limit yourself to these. And you don't need to, take notes if you'd like, that's fine, but we will be following up with everyone with these instructions in a Word doc, so you can have that to look back on. So observations to make. So when you find yourself outside, especially near a waterway, you would take a photo, and then you would use that photo to create a post in Water Reporter. I'll be going over how to download and use the app in a bit, but it's also a great idea to return to those same locations regularly, say every couple weeks or monthly, to see if there are any noticeable changes. So what exactly would we take photos of? So say you see plastic trash along our waterways. Where is that trash located? What type of litter are you seeing? So here's a balloon I saw along the Niagara River. Are you seeing wildlife along specific waterways? What type of creatures are you seeing? Maybe you're noticing that the water color is different than normal. Snap a photo of that. Are you familiar with invasive species in our region? Where are these located? What are you seeing? We can communicate this critical species that are found that require immediate action, like this water lettuce found in Hyde Park Lake in Niagara Falls, to our partners at PRISM, who can handle removal and follow-up for invasive species. Maybe the waterways that you're near have hardened shorelines with rock or steel. Maybe the shorelines you're seeing have very gentle slopes with abundant plant life, more of a living shoreline. All of these conditional elements are really important to help us understand all of the waterways in our watershed. Do you notice severe erosion where a waterway bank is just falling and collapsing into the water? This can cause, a lot of sedimentation and a lot of issues. Maybe we'd want to communicate with the landowner and to discuss possible solutions. Are you seeing abundant growth of algae, maybe green algae, which is not, non-harmful, or maybe it's a harmful algal bloom, or maybe you're not sure, but you're seeing a lot of green water, looks like some type of plant. This is really important information for us, so we can follow up to that location, take a sample, identify it, and take appropriate action. How are community members utilizing the waterway? You can take photos, from a distance. We want to respect people's privacy and not close-ups unless you're asking for permission. But how are people using local waterways? Are they fishing? Are they just sitting and enjoying the view, walking, paddling, boating? Are you seeing combined sewer overflows, often indicated by an outfall sign like this? Bonus points if you get photos or videos of water coming out of that overflow pipe into the water during a heavy rain event. Documenting changing water levels during summer droughts or even storm surges is very important as we consider climate resiliency of our shorelines and planning for changing conditions. Understanding where these changes are happening and how big the water level changes are will help inform our waterway revitalization work. So those are just some examples of some different observations that you could make using Water Reporter. Next, I'll go into how to download the app, use it, and create posts. And if you have your phone or tablet that you would use the app with alongside you, you can pull it up and work with me step by step. But these instructions will also be sent out to everybody as well. I do want to pause right now in case anybody has initial questions on any of the observations that might be helpful to make. I wanted to save most of the time for how to download and use the app because that's probably the most complicated part. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat function, or feel free to unmute yourself by clicking that little microphone icon in the bottom left. We'll also have some time for questions at the end in case you do, but I'll just keep plugging along. So downloading and using the Water Reporter app. Quickly, I wanted to actually ask you guys a quick poll question. You'll see this pop up on your screen. What type of device would you be using for the app? iPhone or iPad or an Android device like a Samsung, phones that I'm less familiar with? Cool, iPhone. So that's what I use with my app, so that's great. Okay. So you're going to need to download the app. So you'll go to the App Store. If you're on iPhones, you're probably familiar with that App Store icon. And in the App Store, you would search for the app Water Reporter or the Water Reporter. Cool. So then you'll see the app for Water Reporter. It looks like a water droplet with a little bit of white at the bottom. So once you download it, hopefully you know your iPhone, iCloud password. I'm really happy that new phones take your face and use that as like a password. So I can download apps quickly. Once it's downloaded onto your phone's kind of desktop, might be on like your last page, you might have to scroll through, you'll see that same app. And once you open the app up, you'll see this sign-in page. So you'll see a water reporter at the top and a sign-in with email and password, which you haven't created an account yet, so you're going to have to keep looking down on the screen for these blue letters that say sign up for water reporter. So you'll click those words there, and it will prompt you to put in your name, your email, your password that you'll create now, make it something you remember, and then you'll click that green sign up for water reporter. I'm just going to wait a couple seconds in between these slides in case you are working along with me. Okay, so once you've signed up for water reporter by creating your user, your name and your password, there are just a few simple steps to kind of complete your profile before you can make observations. So once you make your account, it should prompt you to join groups. And you would type in Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper to search for our group. And you'll see different organizations pop up maybe as you're typing in letters. You'll see our logo next to our name to join. And if you have problems finding our group, you can reach out to me via email. I'll share that at the end to make sure you're on our group, because that way we'll see and get notified of your posts. Once you see our group, Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper, you'll tap that green circle that's over off to the side, and once you click it, it'll fill in a little check mark. It's selected. You can always go back and find additional groups that maybe use Water Reporter as well. That's totally fine and optional. Okay. Then it should prompt you to go to a screen where it's your profile, and maybe you need to edit your name, or you can add in a photo. You're going to select by clicking these 3 horizontal bars up in the top corner. This will open up a menu of options, which is the second picture here. So you can click Edit Profile to add in a little bio for your account. You could add in Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper volunteer, something about yourself. You can change your photo, and then make sure you save any save any changes. There might be a check mark in the top upper corner to complete those changes. So getting to that edit your profile options, it's that little 3 horizontal bar option that should always be on the screens as an option for you. All right. So once you have your account set up and your group selected, your Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper group selected, pretty simple for getting set up, you're ready to create posts and make observations. So on all of your screens on Water Reporter, you'll see this blue circle with a pencil, and this is where you go to create a post. So you'll click on that icon once you're by a waterway, or you've taken a photo at a waterway, and now you have time to upload your post. Maybe later that day after your walk around a local park. So once you click the blue icon to make a post, you will see this screen where there's a map. You do need to be either on Wi-Fi, or if you're using this in the field, use your data to make this function work correctly. So you can type in an address in the top here, but I like to use the map function to be most accurate. So you're familiar with your iPhone, zooming in on photos. The map works the same. You'll pinch with your two fingers out or pinch in to zoom in and out. If you're taking the photo and making the observation in the field real time, that blue dot will be your location. So you can zoom in and just make sure that's in the right spot, or I'm going to shift it over a little bit to the left. You can also click the purple box there and drag it to the right location. Maybe you're back at home now making a post, but you knew you were at Beaver Island State Park on Grand Island making this post. So I need to drag the location marker to that correct spot. Once your location is set, you will type in your notes, your observations. What did you see? For example, high water levels along Buffalo Creek after recent rains. Something that describes what is in the photo. You'll scroll down after that, and then you add your image by clicking the camera icon. So you can take your photo real time in this in the app, or upload a photo from your photo library. Once you click that camera, it'll give you an option of take a photo right now or upload one that was recently taken. So this is a great way to know if you've signed up for the correct group, because it should have any groups you've joined, and you want to click on that green circle again to share this post with us. That way we'll get notified of a post by a volunteer so we can see it, and if it's something that maybe we want to respond to right away, like an algal bloom, we can get right on that. You can also change location by manually changing the lat long, but the map is probably the most easiest option to use. So once you have the map set, your observation, notes, the photo uploaded, and clicked to share with your group of Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper, you're going to click that check mark in the top right corner to submit your post. So then you're all set. It's uploaded, and if you're like, I'm not sure if that worked, how can I find out? If you click on this little globe symbol on the bottom left of your screen here, that should show like posts in the community, and you should be able to see yours. Another way is on our Water Reporter webpage, we have our map of all of the Water Reporter posts. So you should be able to zoom in to the location of your post and see it. And if it's not there, you reach out to us and we can see if we can help make sure you're using the app right and everything's all set. Maybe you don't have the group selected. Okay. So it's a pretty easy to use app, but it allows for a lot of great information to be shared. Time for questions now. I also am going to share in the chat, in case you're able to open those, the link to where you would find the Water Reporter map and the list of all of those possible options for making observations. We will follow up with this recording and those detailed instructions as well. But on our Become a Water Reporter page, there's more of those details and the map as well. So you can explore that either on your phone or on your desktop. Okay. So hopefully you were able to get it downloaded, and maybe now you're be able to spend some time exploring the app and making observations. If anybody has any questions right now, please unmute and ask. But hi, Eileen.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. I did have a question.
Mhm.
If we are someplace else outside of the area and we see something, is that still encouraged to report?
Yeah, definitely. Say you're traveling and you're outside of the watershed, you can definitely still make posts. You could still share them with Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper if it's close to Western New York, but say you're across the state, in the Adirondacks, you can totally still use this app, and other groups in the area that might be using Water Reporter might be able to see that information, and that could still help them.
Okay.
So it's used in all locations throughout the US, lots of different like nonprofit groups, other Waterkeeper groups use this for different types of projects. Some focus specifically on algae, some focus on rising sea levels, like in coastal areas along the ocean. So yeah, there's lots of options.
Okay.
Good question. Any other questions? I saw we had some in the chat, which was great. And Wendy, thanks for answering that. Cool. Yeah, we're hoping to utilize this more in the future as an expansion of our current Riverwatch program, especially during this pandemic. We really had to change our traditional water monitoring program, and that showed how maybe that's not going to be super sustainable into the future. We don't know what next spring looks like. So this is still a way for volunteers to make valuable contributions and observations and learn about their waterways in a way where they don't need to come and pick up equipment and go out in teams to sample. So this is a little bit more flexible. You can pick your schedule, you can pick your area where you want to make observations. We're hoping it just opens doors for more people to get involved. All right, so that's the quick overview of Water Reporter, how we use it, how to download it. We'll be following up, and hopefully we can get more folks on our group to make observations, so we can learn more about different waterways throughout Niagara River watershed. All right, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. And
one more question.
Oh, we have one more question. When we send the photos, yeah, so we could use them in reports or social media and things like that. So you're kind of sending them out to be public. They wouldn't be necessarily like like private. You're giving the group and the Water Reporter platform like access to use them. That's a good question. So they might be something really interesting that we want to share to like our all of our users, all of our supporters, of like something really astounding was observed. So we might want to share that with more folks. All right. All right, well, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and we'll be following up to the larger group of folks who might have been interested in this training to get them all set up as well. So good luck with the app, and hope to see some more observations coming in. All right, have a good night.